In 1999, the first Silent Hill game came out, and I am terrible at it. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, the game is starting to make me a little bit nauseous. However, I have a deep appreciation for this franchise. All the games, the 2 movies. I may not be good at playing them, but man, am I obsessed with their creativity, the psychological horror, and whoa, the creative monster designs. Obviously, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2, but there are other creatures that are equally or more terrifying to me, like the twin victims from Silent Hill 4 The Room. Or, of course, Lisa from Silent Hill's PT. Possibly my favorite video game of all time. It might even be my favorite piece of horror media. Movie, game, book, don't care. It's PT. And that's why I included Silent Hill in a poll on my website asking my followers to pick a franchise for me to reboot. And, of course, Silent Hill won, so I had a big challenge in front of me. Silent Hill is maybe the hardest franchise I can think of to craft an original story for. It's unclear to me whether or not people would even accept such an attempt. Fans of the Silent Hill franchise are, appropriately, very protective. So, what I set out to do was create an original story that is largely inspired by the video game series, leaving space for some of my favorite elements of the franchise, some specific creatures, but more than that, the general themes that I think work really well in Silent Hill. Loss, madness, mourning, and coping with death. This is how I would reboot Silent Hill. Hi, I'm Will Rogers. I'm a writer from New Jersey, and you might be familiar with my audio drama series Blackwood, Earthbreak, The Long Hallway, or my weekly podcast Guide to the Unknown. And I'm always working on new story ideas, including a bunch of stuff I just can't talk about yet. You can always find my work on my website, themythtraveler.com. And as my paid subscribers know, I've been enjoying giving people a sneak peek at certain projects, this being one of them. For the past month or so, I have been doing streams every week, talking about Silent Hill, going through my thought process, showing people how I craft a story, and yeah, literally writing on camera with an audience. Batting around the ideas has been so much fun, and it led to the story that you can read right now in the links below, or again on my website, themythtraveler.com. Now, while you can go out and read it, why shouldn't we read it all together? So here, I've got the script right in front of me. I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you. This is my original story influenced by the horrifically inventive video game series. Interior, bedroom, night. A radio plays from the next room. Its signal is poor. May never be seen again. The radio dies as a roar of fire startles Bobby awake, but something is horribly wrong. The mattress he lies on is filthy and covered in soot. The bed itself has partially collapsed. Bobby glances around to discover that the entire room looks like the aftermath of an all-consuming blaze. It feels like perhaps months have passed since the fire. The air is stale. Bobby coughs and sits up, waving his hand to disperse the resulting cloud of ash. He rests on the edge of the bed, rubbing the back of his head. Hangover? Injury? He's not sure. In fact, he seems completely lost. Looking out the window, he sees an anonymous gray city presently coated in a thick layer of snow. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a cell phone, cracked almost completely in half. Useless. With a grunt, Bobby rises to his feet, suddenly clutching at a stitch in his side. He looks down to see old, dried blood. Raising his shirt, his skin is clear and unblemished. Looking around the bedroom, it becomes clear that this is some sort of upper-class apartment or hotel room. In the corner, a burned-out fireplace seems like it might be the origin of the fire. Bobby walks around the bed to the door, kicking debris along the way. The living room is similarly burned, but not fully. A kitchenette seems to have taken the brunt of the fire, but further into the living space, a couch and entertainment center are only slightly charred. Bobby is horrified to see a pair of feet sticking out from behind a scorched easy chair. Reflexively, he rushes to check on whoever this might be, recoiling when he discovers a sickeningly burned corpse. Unrecognizable. Jumping backward, Bobby bumps into the entertainment center, activating the old radio. In other news, a series of arrests have been made. targeting those involved in selling stolen organs on the black market. Startled, Bobby turns the radio off, only to reconsider and turn it back on in case it can give him information he might need. His mind instantly wanders as he spots the front door and rushes over to open it. Anonymous sources have claimed that these arrests, while extensive, do not constitute the end of the crisis. The scorched knob crumbles in his hand and the door remains shut. Bobby anxiously attempts to get it open any way he can, eventually resorting to pounding and kicking, neither of which do him any good. He opens his mouth to scream for help, only to find that his throat is hoarse, either from disuse or smoke inhalation. He can't shout above a whisper. "Hello? Can anybody... I need help!" Bobby grasps his throat in pain. He kicks and punches at the unmoving door until a mixture of exhaustion and hopelessness overtake him. One of the likely locations for body harvesting is in abandoned buildings, bringing to light another of the dangers facing those unfortunate enough to be targeted. Bobby frantically looks around for anything that can help him. He grabs the phone, which has melted, fusing the earpiece to the base. He runs to the window by the couch, tripping over the corpse on the way. Bobby wrenches the window open only to see a steep plummet. No fire escape. No safety. The charred corpse on the ground behind Bobby begins to shift and writhe. Bobby doesn't realize it, but it seems he woke it up. It rolls onto its stomach and pushes its palms into the floor, raising to its feet as burned cloth and flesh fall off in chunks. It clutches its head and then its side, seeming dazed and confused before spotting Bobby and making its way toward him. Bobby rests his head on the open windowsill and breathes deeply. He's more lost than he even realizes. A thud behind Bobby alerts him to the corpse's presence. He gasps and winces from the pain of gasping, realizing the corpse stands between him and escape. The corpse raises its hands either in attack or reaching out for help, but Bobby simply knocks the corpse's hands out of his way, scrambling to safety. Unnecessary surgeries performed in unsanitary environments may give captors the valuable body parts they wish to sell, but leave victims exposed to harmful bacteria which can lead to infection and possible death. Bobby rushes to the front door again, kicking as hard as his body will allow, but it still won't give. He pivots, instead racing for the bedroom. Behind him, the corpse's hand is suddenly slightly healed, as if the mere act of touching living flesh returned some life to its destroyed body. Back inside the bedroom, Bobby is stunned to find the room similarly healing itself. A cozy fire now crackles in the corner fireplace, which appears pristine. Even the bed is repaired. At first, he thinks the lights are on, but no. Impossibly, sunlight beams through the open windows. He winces, clutching at the arm he used to knock the corpse aside. This isn't real. This isn't real. Gingerly, Bobby examines his arm, seeing that where he and the corpse collided, the flesh is not just injured or burned. It's as if it's rotting away. The spread is slowing, but it's painful. A thud from behind Bobby warns him that the corpse is still coming, pounding bone and melted flesh against the wood. Bobby spins, looking for something to defend himself with. His eyes land on a wrought iron fire poker resting on a table by the fireplace. He grasps it with a distinct lack of confidence. Bobby stands at the ready, waiting for the monster to inevitably break in. Hoping to catch the corpse by surprise, Bobby twists the knob himself, causing it to spill into the room. It lands face down, toppling over the table beside the fire. Flames seize onto the wood, rapidly spreading. Bobby pounces, swinging the fire poker as hard as he can into the corpse's head. Pain explodes through Bobby's skull, as if the fire poker had struck him instead of the monster on the ground, which slowly rises, pivoting to latch on to Bobby, still in agony. Bizarrely, the corpse doesn't want to take a bite out of Bobby the way a zombie might. It embraces him, emitting a sorrowful moan. It might be crying. But the embrace only brings more pain as Bobby's skin turns black where the creature makes contact. In turn, the corpse's skin regains its life, gradually revealing that the corpse bears a direct resemblance to Bobby. A doppelganger. If you or anyone you know is in contact with suspicious persons, the experts all agree. Give in. Let go. What are you living for anyway? The two Bobbies on the bed remain locked, trading death and life, crying like abandoned dogs. The fire eats away the bed's feet, and it collapses, rolling the two Bobbies to the ground. This isn't real, this isn't real. Halfway through the trade, the two Bobbies are nearly identical. Each bears a gaping red wound in the head. Each still shows signs of rot on their sides. But the fire latches on to only one of them. They both scream with the pain of burning, but only one breaks the embrace to stand and run to the hopeful safety of the living room. The scorched Bobbie rushes to the front door, but is unable to open it. He rushes to the kitchen sink, but no water comes out. Growing weaker, he collapses by the easy chair, finally falling still, as the fire threatens to overtake the entire apartment. Flames lap at the radio, slowly corrupting its signal. You're going to die. You're going to die. Someday, or right now. The other Bobbie sputters, coughs, and collapses on the destroyed bed, clutching the searing pain in his head. He lays back, too drained and weary to keep fighting. He sleeps, or dies. What did you expect? What did you think would happen? Why would you come here knowing that many people who come to Silent Hill may never be seen again? The entire room is being eaten. Bobbie is being swallowed by the fire. The radio finally dies as one last roar of fire erupts, and Bobbie is suddenly startled awake. His burns are healed as the day begins again. Bobbie clutches his head, examines his side. He's in pain. He's confused. Outside Bobbie's window, just down the street out of view, reads a sign. Welcome to Silent Hill. Something is horribly wrong. If you're a fan of the Silent Hill franchise, you might have picked up on a few Easter eggs or caught a few influences that I took from the original game series. But beyond the script itself, you can read more about my story concept in the series overview. When a brother goes missing in a small ghost town, a desperate young writer rushes to find him, unaware that she has become trapped herself. This project, How I Would Reboot Silent Hill, is really just a writing experiment. It's a fun little exercise in taking something that I love and imagining that if I were somehow given the keys to the franchise kingdom, how would I use these elements? What kind of a story would I tell? And I really hope that you enjoy it. Check the links in the notes below to read the entire thing, and if you enjoyed it, maybe consider sharing it with a few people. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And of course, please consider visiting themythtraveler.com, where I post all of my projects. You can not only poke through most of my previous work for free and get links to where they all live, but if you become a paid subscriber, you can get access to not only exclusive posts and secret live streams where you can literally talk back and forth with me as I work on a project, you can even cast your vote for which series I should tackle next. More than that, though, you'll be supporting me in creating brand new original stories, and I cannot thank my current subscribers enough for their support and anybody else who might sign up. I've even got a free tier in case you just want to be notified every time I release something publicly. So what do you think? Did I do a decent job, or did I completely ruin the franchise? Feel free to leave your comments below. If you caught any of my references or influences, I'd love to see if you noticed. And tell me your thoughts as well. What are you looking forward to in the Silent Hill franchise? There are a lot of rumors of reboots and remasters and a new movie. Who knows what might happen, but I will definitely be checking it out myself. Thank you all so much for sticking with me, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.